When I was young, my family lived overseas, and I lived in Indonesia for a few years. And my mother, she didn't have money to send me where all the American kids went to school, but she thought it was important for me to keep up with an American education, so she decided to teach me extra lessons herself, Monday through Friday. But because I had to work, the only time I could do was at 4:30 in the morning. But whenever I complained, my mother would just give me one of those looks and say, "It's no picnic for me either, Buster." So I know that some of you are still adjusting to be being back at school, but I'm here today because I have something important to discuss with you. My father left my family when I was 2 years old, and I was raised by a single mom who had to work, struggle at the time to pay the bill, wasn't easily able to keep that other kid has uh, in my life. There was time when I belonged and I feel like I didn't fit in. So I was always as focused, so I shouldn't be in school, and I did something I'm not proud of. I got in more trouble than I should have, and my life could have been taken a turn for the worst. But I was lucky. I got a lot of second chances and have opportunity to go to college, law school, and follow my dream. My wife, our first lady, Michelle Obama, she has a similar story. Neither her parents had gone to college, and they didn't have a lot of money, but they worked hard and she worked hard so they could go to the best school in this country. But some of you might not have those advantages. Maybe you don't have adult in your life who give you the support that you need. Maybe someone in your family has lost their job and there's not enough money to go around. Maybe you live in a neighborhood where you don't feel safe, or have friends who are pressuring you to do things you know aren't right. Maybe you could be a great writer, maybe even good enough to write a book or other in a newspaper, but you might not know it until you write that English paper, that English class paper that's assigned to you. Maybe you could be an innovator or inventor. Maybe you're good enough to come up with the next iPhone, the new medicine or vaccine. But you might not know it until you do a project for your science class. Maybe you could be a mayor, a senator, or Supreme Court justice. But you might not know that until you join student enrollment or the debate team. And no matter what you want to do with your life, I guarantee that you need an education to do what you be a doctor or teacher or police officer. You wanna be a nurse, an architect, a lawyer, a member of our military, you're gonna need to get an education every single of your career. You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job. You got to train for it and work for it and learn for it. And this isn't just important for your own life, your own future. What you make of your education, nothing less, the future of this country, the future of America depends on you. What you're learning in school today will determine whether we as a nation can meet our credit challenges in the future. You'll need the knowledge and problem-solving skill to learn assignment in math, to cure diseases like cancer and AIDS, to develop the energy protect our environment. You need the insight and critical thinking skill you gain in history and social study to fight problem homelessness, crime, and discrimination and make our nation more fair and more free. You need the creativity and ingenuity developed in all your classes to new company, new job, and boost economy. We need every single one of you to do and and innovate so you can help us folks solve our most difficult problem. If you don't do that, if you quit on school, you're not just quitting on yourself, you're killing your country. And I know it's not easy to do well in school. I know you, in your life right now that can make it hard focus you on schoolwork. I get it. I know what it's like. But at the end of the day, the circumstance of your life, what you look like, when you come from, how much money you have, what you got going on at home, none of that is an excuse on bad attitude. That's no excuse for taking back, cutting leg, or dropping out of school. There's no excuse for not trying. Where you are right now doesn't have to determine where you end up. No one's written your destiny for you. Because here's American, you write your own destiny. You make your own future. That's why young people like you are doing everything on across America. That's why today I'm calling up each you to say all your education you can to meet them. Your goal can be something as simple as doing your homework, paying attention in class, or spending some time each day reading a book. Maybe you'll decide to get involved in extracurricular community volunteer in your community. Maybe you decide to stand up for kids who are being teased or bullied because of who they are or how they look. Because you believe, like I do, that all young people deserve a safe environment to study and learn. Maybe you decide to take better care so you can be more ready to learn. But whatever you resolve to do, I want to commit to it. I want to really work at it. I know that sometimes you get that sense from TV you can be rich and successful without any hard work. That you ticket to celebrate the basketball or being a reality TV star. Chances are you're not going to. The truth is, being successful is hard. You won't love every subject that you study. You won't click every teacher that you have. Not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. And you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who had the most failure. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career, but he once said, I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failure define you. You have to let your failure teach you. You have them show you what to do different the next time. So if you get in trouble, what does it mean you need to try harder to act right? If you get a bad grade, that does mean you need to spend more time studying. No one's born being good at all things. You become good at things through hard work. You're not a varsity athlete the first time you play a new sport. You don't hit every note the first time you sing a song. You got to practice. The same principle applies to your schoolwork. You might have to do a math problem a few times before you get it right. You might have to read something a few times before you understand it. You definitely have to do a few drafts of a paper before it's good enough to hand in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when I do that every day. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Because it shows you admit you don't know something, and that then allows you to learn something new. So find an adult you trust, a parent, grandparent, a teacher, a coach, a counselor, and ask them to help you stay on track to meet your goals. And even you're struggling when you're discouraged and you feel like other people have given up on you, don't ever give up on yourself. Because when you give up on yourself, you give up on your country. The story of American is about who quit when it's about people who keep going, who try harder, who love their country too much to do anything less than their best. It's a story of a student who said, when you still tried 250 years ago and went on to wage a revolution and they founded this nation, young people. Students who said when 75 years and who overcame the revolution and won one war, who fought the civil rights and put a man on the moon. Student who said with us 20 years ago, who found Google, Twitter, Facebook, and trend away communicate with each other. So today I want to ask all of you, what your contribution gonna be? What problem are you gonna solve? What discoveries will you make? What will the president who come in 20 or 50 or 100 say about all of you did for this country? Know your family, your teacher, and are doing everything you can to make sure you have the education you need to answer these questions. I'm working hard to fix up your classroom and get you book and equipment and the computer you need to learn. But you got to do your part too. So I expect all of you to get serious this year. I expect to put your best effort in everything to do. I expect great things from each of you. So don't let us down. Don't let your family down. You're on your country and must run. Don't let yourself down. Make us all proud.